Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to admit everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to ask if everyone can please mute themselves upon entry, and that will allow us to not have any feedback. All right, well, we're 1 minute after 7, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Veronica Aplenc. I'm the Center City Residents Association Zoning Committee co-chair, and I'd like to welcome all of you to our meeting tonight. Welcome to the Center City Residents Association Zoning Committee. We'll go ahead and get started. The CCRA is more than a 75-year-old nonprofit civic association. As a nonprofit, we encourage everyone to become a member, which can easily be done through our website. There are several benefits to being a member, one of which is being notified of all proposed zoning changes within our area. The CCRA is the registered community organization, RCO, for our area. Our boundaries are from South Street to JFK and Broad Street to the Schuylkill River. Our committee works as follows. First, applicants are to present. We ask applicants address the specific refusal or referral. We ask for no interruption as applicants give their full presentation. After the presentation, the zoning committee will have a chance to ask questions. After the zoning committee's questions are completed, we open the meeting up to the community. When addressed, we ask that you state your name and address. We ask that you keep your questions succinct and to the variance being discussed. We also ask that people not repeat others' questions. If you agree with someone's position, you are welcome to stand and simply state that you agree. That is to say, when we were in person, we stood. We were welcome to simply speak when called upon and simply state that you agree. If there's a spokesperson for the neighbors, we ask that this person stand or speak and speak for the group. After we hear from all applicants and listen to the community comments, our committee meets in closed session. We vote in one of 3 ways: oppose, not oppose, or not oppose with provisos. CCRA never votes in favor of any application. Our decision is mailed to the councilperson, the ZBA, and the applicant, and is posted on the CCRA website. Importantly, no matter how we decide, if you are concerned with a project, we strongly recommend that you attend the ZBA meeting. This is the best way to make your concerns known. The CCRA zoning committee cannot express the neighbor's point of view. Only a property owner or aggrieved individual may express their personal concerns to the ZBA. With that, let's begin, and I would just like to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded. Tonight we have one applicant, and that is 1708 Naudain Street, and this is a refusal. And again, as a reminder, a refusal means that the burden is on the applicant to demonstrate why the community should accept the zoning change. And this is a refusal because the required rear yard depth is not provided at the addition level. Rear yard depth required is 7 feet, whereas the proposed is 4 feet, 3 3/4 inches. So with that, I would like to turn it over to 1708 Naudain Street, and I believe that is Mr. Anastasio, and so I will yield the floor to you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to share my screen now. And again, thank you all for your hospitality. I'll be as succinct and quick as I possibly can so that we can open up to questions or concerns. The application is for a rear 3rd-story addition and the construction of a 6-foot-high fence, rear fence, to the existing single-family dwelling at 1708 Naudain. And I'm gonna bring it out here. These are just elevations from the architect, and here's the site plan. But I think what might be of more interest to you I can just give me 1 minute while I work on the okay. Uh, 1 more second, please. Boy. Okay, so here's the property in question. And what we want to do here is just put it on a rear addition in the all delineated in red, and as is the side yard. So what we are going before the zoning board for is because this addition, of course, is not compliant with the rear yard or open area requirements, but the lot itself is not in, in compliance. So no matter what we did with this property, we would never be able to actually meet compliance because the lot is what we would call undersized. And that's why we're here. We have to go before the zoning board of adjustment for the rear addition. And before we get to the zoning board, we obviously have to come here. We have in this meeting the contractors who could talk about construction mitigation and different aspects to the construction itself. But here's the photos of the property, as you can see. Pre-existing, non-conforming lot where they just want to be able to add an addition to give them some more living space. We want to give people reasons to stay in the city, and allowing this on the small side row home a little bit more living space will just make it that more livable, that more capable of keeping them where they are. And here's some more additional interior photos. And of course, the entire package, 33 pages so far of the exhibits are available to the RCO. I think I've given you enough of the interiors. Here's the mailing that went out to everyone, 2 pages that were mailed out, and I've included 4 or 5 pages of addresses that to which it went out, but the total is 167 individual households that were mailed for the notice of not only today, but of the hearing itself. We also have, in addition, signatures of support from immediate neighbors, most on Naudain, some on Pine, all in support of the appeal. These are good neighbors whose neighbors want to keep them in the neighborhood, and with that, I want to rest. But
All right.
that's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for your presentation.
Yep.
What we'll do now is we'll go to committee questions, and I will call on individual members of the committee. And after that, we will open it up to questions from the general public.
And please know, I'm going to take notes throughout the Q&A, and in the event we need to make any kind of changes or adjustments, I'll be doing that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Bob Lane, any questions?
No questions.
Doug Miller, any questions? Hearing none, I'm assuming no.
No, sorry.
Ben Zuckerman, any questions?
Yeah, the application says it's a 3-story addition. It's being sought. You said when you started out, it's a 3rd-story addition. Am I correct that this is a 3-story structure that is going to be added onto the rear of the house?
Yes, and I'm sorry if my description was, confused you. Yep, 3rd-story addition, 3-story addition.
So, and how deep will that addition itself be? I realize it's taking up part of the lot, but how deep will it be?
I could pull the
Vern, this is Paul Thompson, the architect at Blue Path
Yep.
Design.
Thank you,
I can
Paul.
answer
Yep.
that question.
Thank you.
The addition's about 9 feet 5 deep. It matches the adjacent addition at the adjacent property at 1706.
And
Okay,
I stopped sharing my documents in the event that Paul wants to share anything that he has, but yep.
And just a clarification, the site plan that Vern showed was a very early one that was part of our initial discussion. There is no deck or stair to the deck that's being proposed. It's an addition with an uninhabited roof.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Ben Zuckerman? No?
That was me.
Yes. Sylvie Lorente, any questions?
Yes, first a comment. I went through all the documents that you shared, and I'm unpleasantly surprised to hear now that the time I spent was for nothing because the images do not represent the reality. I think that, well, that shouldn't happen this way, out of respect for the people who are attending this meeting. One thing that I didn't get, maybe I was not careful, paying attention enough. Is it your home, or are you talking here about some units that you are renting?
No, this is their home. And again, we're here just for the rear yard depth, but yeah, this is their home. They're going to occupy this.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Any other questions or points, Sylvie? Okay. Jacob Cooper, any questions?
No questions, thanks.
Ben Weinraub, any questions?
No question.
Steve Rubin, any questions?
Yeah, just one, it seems like this deck would face, the houses in back, which are on Rodman Street, I believe. And, do we have any direct, in the petitions of support, any from the Rodman Street neighbors directly behind the house?
Good question, Steve. I did not see many, if any, signatories from Rodman Street, but they did in fact get mailed the notice of this meeting this evening, and of course the hearing pursuant to the code. But no, I don't think I saw any Rodman Street properties on that. I mean, unless Michael or the clients have anything else to say.
There were two signatures from Rodman, but not the house directly behind us. I could not get a hold of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just to confirm, so Marmura, are you the property owners?
They
That's
are,
right.
yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. You weren't
Yeah.
introduced, so I wasn't clear.
And sorry if I probably should have introduced them. So,
Okay. Okay, great. Flora Becker, any questions? Flora? No questions, it sounds like. Although I believe she may have dropped off the call. She was here previously. I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you please be able just to pull up your slides again?
Of
and
course.
show us again the third the 3 floors of addition, and just show us that that design and the lot footprint again, if you would, just that we're all on the same page
Yeah.
as we head into questions from the community.
Be happy to.
Wonderful.
And if Paul has just slightly different tweak on these on this design, of course, I'll stop sharing and he can reshare, but the refusals don't change, and that's really what's germane here. But here you go. Okay. I'm hoping this is what you asked for. It's here's 1708. Adjacent to 1710, 1706. All 3 3-story row homes. All the same depth. Client is asking for the deck on the top of the 3-story home. And then we've got
no deck, Vern. It's just
no.
Said this was one of the previous
Understood.
the first zoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so deck is gone, but just a rear addition right here.
Yeah. Probably the best site plan would be the larger plan. The drawing up ahead, and right, if you can zoom into that site plan in the lower right hand. There you go. And you see this drawing was recently revised and was sent over last week, and so the red bubbles are the changes from the previous submission, and you see the site plan zoning in the lower, that where the cursor is the current proposal.
So just to confirm, there's no deck, and
That's
how
correct.
large is the, great, and so how large is the addition that you're proposing? How much can you show us on a plan how much it extends from the current rear of the building towards the street?
The addition is, the footprint is 151 square feet. You can see in this plan that's here, see where it says the existing adjacent addition. That is the footprint would match that projection from the existing face of the building. It's 9 foot 5 inches from the existing face of the building.
For me, the slide is a little small and I'm not seeing the existing, I'm not seeing that on the slide. It's a little, that's.
I'll bring it up for you.
Thank you.
Or I could share, I have the drawing up if I would be easier if I should share.
Could you?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Paul, I'm going to stop sharing so that you can navigate and share your particular plans. Thank you.
Okay.
And just note, the refusal doesn't change regardless of which plans we're looking at, but okay. But I understand you want to see something a little bit more specific.
Okay, I assume that you can see a roof plan right now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yes. So you could see, right, the proposed addition, 151 square feet, and you could see it fills, it's a 9 foot 5 projection from the back of the existing house, and it aligns with the existing addition at 1706 Naudain. And it would be the same 3 stories that would align with the existing 3 stories of the house.
Okay, thank you.
None of it is visible from Naudain Street. All the other houses on Naudain Street are 3-story houses. They have the similar small rear yards. So it's really in keeping with the size of what's there already.
Great. Thank you for that. That's helpful. I see that Flora Becker has been able to join the call. Flora, I'd like to ask you, do you have any questions? We're just finishing up the questions from the committee.
What was the vintage of these other additions on either side of this house, if you know?
I'm sorry, what was the,
When were the additions on the two adjoining houses put on, if you know?
It's only one.
yeah, it's only one adjacent property that has the addition.
It's right here.
I see.
And I'm gonna guess that that addition was, in the 1960s or 1970s, maybe it's the 80s. I don't have any data on that. I know that, the 1708 and probably the rest of the houses were built around 1911. But this is a fairly recent addition, at 1706 Naudain.
Yep. And everything I've looked at, 1706, any additions, if they were legalized, was prior to the 21st century. It's at least plus 24 years.
Ben Z, do I see another question?
Yeah, I just have a suggestion. The red outlining here is very confusing because it's outlining half of what already exists and what's not. I would recommend in the future, just outline what it is that the addition will be. Because I looked at this a couple times and I couldn't quite tell, but now I understand, but I couldn't tell from this exactly where the addition is going to be.
Thank you, Mr. Zuckerman. The design professional and I will certainly take that into consideration, kind consideration. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from the committee? No, seeing none, I'm going to open this up to community questions. So at this point, if you are a member of the community and have a point or a question that you wish to make, I ask that you raise hand. And I'll call on people in the order that I see them. You can find the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. We also have a small group, and so if you can't find the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen, I invite you to raise your actual hand. I can see everyone whose camera is on and isn't blurred. Okay. I see one hand, and I just want to, and Alex Roeder, apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, but may I just interrupt for just 1 second? Do I see Evan Litvin on this call as well, a committee member?
You do.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Evan. You must have joined and you snuck in and I didn't see you during the committee question session. So Mr. Rodiger, if you can give me a moment. Evan Litvin, do you have any questions for this case?
I don't, but thank you.
All right, thank you. Have I missed any other committee members? Everyone is very small on the screen in this Zoom call. All right, wonderful. Well, I'll turn it over now. Alex Roeder, apologies for any mispronunciations. If you can give your name and address to the committee and then ask your question.
Sure, yeah. My name is Alex Roeder. I live at 412 South Carlisle Street. I'm about 3 blocks from this house. I was just going to make a point of interesting comparison. So my house was built in the 1850s and had an addition almost exactly like this one to bump out the back part of the house, leaving about 6 feet of proposed rear easement, basically. That was done sometime around the 1900s, early 1900s. So this is looks like it's exactly what happened to my house about 120 years ago. So.
All right, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other community members who would like to speak or ask a question regarding this property? We have a small group, and so I invite any community members to unmute themselves and ask their questions. All right, hearing none, it appears that the community there are no more community questions, and so we will close the public discussion on this property. So I want to thank the representatives, Mr. Anastasio and Mr. Thompson, and the Marmaras for having presented their case to us. We will now, the committee will move into closed session. So everyone who is not a committee member, I invite you to leave the meeting. And then the committee will continue its discussions and will reach a vote and email that out within a 48-hour period. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality, as always. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
So I will stop recording and